What happens to your body if you eat only sardines for 5 days? Opening hook. What would happen to your body if you ate almost nothing but sardines for 5 straight days? Would your inflammation disappear? Would your brain suddenly become sharper? Would your body start burning fat faster? And could a simple can of sardines really transform your health in less than a week? Sardines are one of the most nutrient-dense fish you can eat. They contain high-quality protein, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, selenium, vitamin D in many varieties, and when you eat the soft edible bones, a significant amount of calcium. But there's an important problem with the viral claims surrounding the so-called 5-day sardine challenge. Eating only sardines is not a medically proven detox. It doesn't magically reprogram your cells, and there is no reliable evidence that 5 days of sardines alone can dramatically reverse diabetes or eliminate years of inflammation. In fact, eating only one food for several days can create nutritional problems of its own. So today, we're going to separate the fascinating biology from the internet hype. We're going inside your body, day by day, to explore what could actually happen if sardines became the overwhelming majority of your diet for 5 days. And by the end, you'll understand why this tiny fish can be an excellent part of a healthy diet without turning it into a miracle cure. Let's begin. Day 1. Your body meets the sardine. Imagine waking up on the first morning of your challenge. Instead of cereal, bread, eggs, fruit, vegetables, or your usual breakfast, you eat sardines. At lunch, more sardines. At dinner, sardines again. Immediately, your digestive system has to deal with a very different nutritional pattern. Instead of receiving a mixture of carbohydrates, fats, fiber, and protein from many foods, you're receiving mostly protein and fat with very little carbohydrate and essentially no dietary fiber. And this is where the first major biological change can begin. Your carbohydrate intake drops dramatically. Your body normally stores carbohydrate in the form of glycogen, primarily in your liver and muscles. When carbohydrate intake falls, your body begins using some of those glycogen stores. And because glycogen is stored along with water, losing some glycogen can also cause a reduction in water weight. That means your bathroom scale might move downward. But here's the important part. A rapid drop on the scale doesn't necessarily mean you're burning large amounts of body fat. Some of that early change can simply be water. This is one reason people sometimes feel that low-carbohydrate diets produce dramatic results almost immediately. Your body is changing its fuel availability, but that doesn't mean 5 days have magically erased years of stored fat. Now, let's talk about what sardines actually bring to the table. A typical serving can provide a substantial amount of protein. Protein is important because your body constantly breaks down and rebuilds proteins. Your muscles need amino acids. Your enzymes need amino acids. Many hormones and structural components of your body depend on proteins. So instead of simply thinking of sardines as fish, think about what happens after digestion. The proteins are broken down into amino acids. Those amino acids enter your bloodstream and become raw materials your cells can use. At the same time, sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. And these are especially interesting. The omega-3 story. EPA and DHA are not just ordinary fats. They become incorporated into cell membranes and participate in biological signaling. Your cells have membranes that separate the inside of the cell from the environment around it. Those membranes aren't rigid walls. They're dynamic structures containing different types of fats. The fats you consume can influence the composition of those membranes. Omega-3 fatty acids are also involved in pathways associated with inflammation and immune signaling. But here's where we need to be careful. Eating sardines doesn't mean inflammation instantly disappears. The human inflammatory system is enormously complicated. Inflammation is not always bad. Your body needs inflammation to respond to injuries and infections. The problem is persistent, inappropriate inflammation. And diet is only one piece of that much larger puzzle. So don't think of sardines as an inflammation switch. Think of them as one nutritious food that can contribute beneficial nutrients to an overall healthy eating pattern. Day 2, your metabolism adapts. Now imagine you've reached the second day. By this point, Your body has had more time to adjust to the lack of carbohydrates. If your carbohydrate intake is extremely low, your liver can increase production of ketone bodies from fatty acids. Ketones can provide an alternative fuel source for the brain and other tissues. This process is called ketosis. But here's another myth worth correcting. You don't need to eat sardines to enter ketosis. Ketosis can occur whenever carbohydrate availability is sufficiently low, including during fasting and certain low-carbohydrate diets. So if you feel different on day 2, don't automatically assume the sardines have reprogrammed your metabolism. Your overall calorie intake, carbohydrate intake, hydration, sleep, activity level, and individual metabolism can all influence how you feel. Some people may feel fine. Others may experience headaches, fatigue, irritability, dizziness, constipation, or difficulty concentrating, especially if their food intake has changed dramatically. And there's another issue: fiber. Sardines contain essentially no dietary fiber. Your digestive system benefits from fiber-rich foods such as vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Fiber helps support normal bowel function and is also important for the trillions of microorganisms living in your gut. If you suddenly replace those foods with only sardines, you're removing an enormous variety of nutrients and fermentable fibers from your diet. So while the sardines may be nutrient-rich doesn't mean nutritionally complete. That's a critical distinction. What happens inside your muscles? Here's another fascinating part. Suppose you're eating enough protein during these 5 days. The amino acids from your meal enter your bloodstream after digestion. Your muscles can use those amino acids for maintenance and repair. But protein alone doesn't automatically create bigger muscles. Muscle growth also depends on resistance training, sufficient energy intake, recovery, sleep, and many other factors. So if you're hoping that eating 3 cans of sardines every day will suddenly build muscle, don't expect a miracle. Your body is not a simple machine where one nutrient equals one result. It's a complex biological system. Day 3, the ketone question. By the 3rd day, some people following an extremely low carbohydrate diet may experience a stronger shift toward ketone production. This can produce noticeable changes in appetite and energy for some individuals, but others may feel worse. Why? Because the human body responds differently depending on the person. Your previous diet matters. Your activity level matters. Your total calorie intake matters. Your hydration matters. Your health conditions and medications can matter enormously. And this is especially important for anyone managing diabetes. If you're taking insulin or certain glucose-lowering medications, making a major dietary change without professional guidance can potentially cause dangerous blood glucose changes. So please don't treat a 5-day sardine experiment as a diabetes treatment. Sardines can absolutely fit into a diabetes-friendly eating pattern, but that is very different from saying sardines can cure diabetes. There is no magic 5-day switch. What about the brain? Now let's talk about DHA. Your brain contains a large amount of fat, and DHA is an important structural fatty acid in nervous tissue. That is one reason researchers are interested in seafood and omega-3 intake. But this does not mean eating sardines today will give you instant superhuman concentration tomorrow. The brain is much more complicated than that. Sleep affects concentration. Stress affects concentration. Hydration affects concentration. Blood glucose affects concentration. Physical activity affects concentration. And overall diet matters. So if you suddenly feel mentally clearer during challenge, it may be because your overall calorie intake changed. Your carbohydrate intake changed. You stopped eating certain ultra-processed foods. Or your expectations changed. It doesn't necessarily prove that sardines cause a neurological transformation. Your muscles can use those amino acids for maintenance and repair. But protein alone doesn't automatically create bigger muscles. Muscle growth also depends on resistance training, sufficient energy intake, recovery, sleep, and many other factors. So if you're hoping that eating 3 cans of sardines every day will suddenly build muscle, don't expect a miracle. Your body is not a simple machine where one nutrient equals one result. It's a complex biological system. Day 3, the ketone question. By the 3rd day, some people following an extremely low carbohydrate diet may experience a stronger shift toward ketone production. This can produce noticeable changes in appetite and energy for some individuals, but others may feel worse. Why? Because the human body responds differently depending on the person. Your previous diet matters. Your activity level matters. Your total calorie intake matters. Your hydration matters. Your health conditions and medications can matter enormously. And this is especially important for anyone managing diabetes. If you're taking insulin or certain glucose-lowering medications, making a major dietary change without professional guidance can potentially cause dangerous blood glucose changes. So please don't treat a 5-day sardine experiment as a diabetes treatment. Sardines can absolutely fit into a diabetes-friendly eating pattern, but that is very different from saying sardines can cure diabetes. There is no magic 5-day switch. What about the brain? Now let's talk about DHA. Your brain contains a large amount of fat, and DHA is an important structural fatty acid in nervous tissue. That is one reason researchers are interested in seafood and omega-3 intake. But this does not mean eating sardines today will give you instant superhuman concentration tomorrow. The brain is much more complicated than that. Sleep affects concentration. Stress affects concentration. Hydration affects concentration. Blood glucose affects concentration. Physical activity affects concentration, and overall diet matters. So if you suddenly feel mentally clearer during the challenge, it may be because your overall calorie intake changed, your carbohydrate intake changed, you stopped eating certain ultra-processed foods, or your expectations changed. It doesn't necessarily prove that sardines cause a neurological transformation. Day 5. What have you actually accomplished? And now we've reached day 5. You've eaten sardines repeatedly. Maybe you've lost some weight. Maybe your appetite changed. Maybe you've noticed differences in your energy. Maybe you feel exactly the same. And that last possibility is completely normal. 5 days is a very short period in human biology. You should not expect 5 days of one food to reverse chronic disease, rebuild every damaged cell, remove years of inflammation, or make your body biologically younger. Real health improvements usually come from habits practiced consistently over weeks, months, and years. And that brings us to the biggest lesson of this entire experiment. The power of sardines isn't that they're a miracle food. The power is that they are an exceptionally nutritious food that can become part of a much healthier eating pattern. So, should you eat sardines every day? For many people, sardines can be a fantastic addition to the diet. But instead of eating only sardines for 5 days, imagine doing something smarter. Keep the sardines. Add vegetables. Add beans or lentils. Add fruit. Add nuts or seeds. Choose whole grains if they fit your dietary needs. Drink water. Get enough protein. Move your body. Sleep adequately. And build a diet you can maintain. That approach gives your body something a sardine-only diet cannot. Nutritional diversity. Your gut microbes receive different fibers. Your body receives a wider range of vitamins and minerals. Your meals become more sustainable. And you don't have to depend on a single food. How to choose better canned sardines. Now, when you're standing in the supermarket looking at dozens of cans, what should you look for? First, read the ingredient list. Ideally, keep it simple. Sardines, water, or an oil you prefer, and perhaps a small amount of salt or seasoning. Second, check the sodium. If you're trying to reduce sodium, compare brands. Third, look at the type of oil. Extra virgin olive oil can be a reasonable option if you enjoy it, and the product fits your dietary needs. Water-packed sardines are another simple option, but don't fall into the trap of believing that every vegetable oil is automatically poison. The overall dietary pattern matters much more than turning one ingredient into a villain. And finally, check the serving size. One can isn't necessarily one serving. Read the label before assuming how much protein, fat, omega-3, or sodium you're actually consuming. The bigger message. Here's what I want you to remember. Your body is not waiting for one miracle food. Your cells don't need a magical 5-day detox. Your liver and kidneys already perform the body's essential waste processing functions. What your body needs is consistent support, enough protein, essential fats, fiber, micronutrients, adequate hydration, physical activity, quality sleep, and a diet that you can maintain for the long term. Sardines can be part of that picture. And honestly, that's more impressive than exaggerated claims. Because sardines don't need to be a miracle cure to be an excellent food. They already provide a remarkable combination of nutrients in a relatively inexpensive package. So, what happens if you eat only sardines for 5 days? You may consume plenty of protein and omega-3 fatty acids. You may consume substantial amounts of vitamin B12 and other nutrients. You may get calcium if you eat the soft bones. Your carbohydrate intake may become extremely low. Your body may increase its use of stored glycogen and, depending on your overall intake, produce more ketones. Your weight may decrease, partly because of changes in water balance and possibly because you're consuming fewer calories. But you may also experience digestive changes, constipation from a lack of fiber, fatigue, headaches, or other symptoms. And you are not guaranteed a dramatic transformation. So instead of asking, how can I eat only sardines for 5 days? Ask a better question. How can I build a diet where nutrient-dense foods like sardines regularly support my health? That's the approach worth keeping. And remember, if you have diabetes, kidney disease, cardiovascular disease, are pregnant, take medications affected by diet, or have another medical condition, talk with a qualified healthcare professional before making a major dietary change. This video is for educational purposes and isn't a substitute for individualized medical advice. Now I want to hear from you. Do you eat sardines? Do you prefer them packed in water, olive oil, tomato sauce, or another preparation? And would you ever try eating sardines every day for 5 days? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me what country you're watching from. If you learned something useful today, please give this video a like because it helps the channel reach more people who want to understand their health and nutrition. Share this video with a friend or family member who loves sardines or is interested in healthier eating. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next evidence-based health and nutrition video. We don't need fear. We don't need miracle cures. We need knowledge, consistency, and better everyday choices. Take care of your body. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you in the next video.